Hello guys and gals. Today I'm going to show you how to install Windows 10 on a laptop. The first thing we need is a USB pen drive containing Windows 10. I will leave the links in the description. This is able to get from the Microsoft website, and they have a tool. You download the tool, you need at least 8 gigs pen drive, and from there it's really easy to get your installation pen drive. The laptop that we have is Lenovo V130. All the similar Lenovo laptops, especially from that time and age, they can be booted in two different ways. We need to boot from the pen drive in order to get to our Windows 10 installation, and Lenovo V30 has two ways of booting using standard F12 key or a paperclip that is inserted inside this small hole here. Okay, so let's first start with a paperclip system, and then we'll do the F12 as well. So Lenovo, once we hear a small click inside, voila, and we go to the boot menu. We can also choose BIOS setup and so on, and we get our USB generic device. Enter, and we continue. I will show you the other way using the F12. So pen drive is inside, power on, hold F12. Okay, so again we select USB HDD generic USB device. This will take us to the setup options for Windows 10. Okay, so now we have a menu, and we can choose language to install, time and currency, usually how you did your image from the Microsoft tool. This will be the language and some basic setup. Here the keyboard corresponds to what this Lenovo V30 has, so I will just keep everything as it is. Next, install now. And we further need to wait a little bit more. Okay, we get to the next screen where we need to accept the license terms. If you like, you can read them as well if you have enough time, but we can just go next. Upgrade for upgrading, but we need custom, install Windows only, advanced option. So this SSD inside has already some partitions. Obviously it was already used. We need to delete everything for a fresh install. So you select one by one and you go to the delete option until everything becomes one partition. Now you can create here a new partition if the capacity of the hard disk or SSD is bigger. You can separate it into different partitions. I will show you how. So here you need to know how big you want partition to be. So we wanted something over 70 gigs. Apply. Yes, okay. And this would be our partition where to install Windows, and then the second one we can use as a storage. But since this is a small capacity SSD, I will just use everything as one partition. Practically here you can just click next, and copying of Windows files starts.
have your PC ready for all you plan to do. Use your voice
The next
or the
is
keyboard along the way.
introduction of
And if you'd like me to
Cortana,
stay
which you
quiet,
can silence
just select the little
by
microphone
clicking
icon
the
towards
mic
the
icon
bottom.
here. And a little bit more of waiting time. Okay, we can choose the region here. Keyboard layout again. Here you can add additional keyboard if you need. If not, that's okay. We skip. If you connect to the network at this moment, you would have to log in with your Microsoft account. If you want to do that later, you can click I don't have internet. Continue with limited setup. Username, the one that you like. Password, if you want. It's always good to have a password. If not, just next. Here there are some options. Let Microsoft and apps use your location. Well, we can accept this. Find my device. Yes, this can be useful. Send diagnostic data to Microsoft. You can send them more or less. That's up to you. And there are some things that Cortana can help you with. You can learn more, you can accept, but I will go with not now at the moment. A little bit of waiting as well now. To wait several minutes more. Almost there, as it says, and voila. So, first things first, we need to connect to the internet. Once connected, be sure to set up date and time. Just by typing in the search box date and time, or just date, we usually get suggestion. And always try to get the correct time zone. Set the time zone automatically on. Sync now if you want to be sure about everything. If you want to add some icons on the desktop, the next way and the next place is Teams and related settings, desktop icons, computer user files, for example. That's it. The third step would be updates. And from here, nowadays, you will get most of the drivers for the device you're installing Windows on, which is quite convenient. If by checking the device manager, even after finishing all the updates, you see that you have some exclamation marks and drivers missing, the place to visit is your laptop's or your device's manufacturer's website and to download or update drivers from there. That's all from me for today. Thank you and see you next time. All the best.